Hi everyone, this is Aaron from Watch Reviews. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will take a look at the Watchdives WD1967 Sharkmaster 300. But before we begin, I want to disclose that this watch was sent to me for free and I don't have to send it back. But as usual, that won't affect my review of the watch, and Watchdives is going to see this review at the same time as everyone else. If after watching this review you're interested in purchasing this watch, you'll find an affiliate link down below in the description. Now, if you haven't noticed it already, this is a homage to the Omega Seamaster 300 reference 165.024. In my opinion, this is one of the best Seamaster references out there. This and the 2252.50 are my favorite Seamaster models. So obviously when Watchdives released this watch, I reached out right away and asked if I could check it out. So anyways, Watchdives doesn't get any points for originality here, but what they do get points for is everything else about this watch. Let's start with the specifications. The case measures 38mm and the bezel is just a tiny bit bigger at 39mm. The lug-to-lug distance measures 45mm. The thickness including the box sapphire crystal is 14mm. The lug width is 20mm and the crown measures 7mm. The watch runs on the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. It has 41 hours of power reserve, beats at 21,600 beats per hour. It hacks and hand winds. Now looking at the case, we have the twisted lug design just like the original watch. Watchdives did a great job with the finishing here. There is a broad polished bevel that goes across the entire side of the case. This polished bevel is visible from the top and also the side of the case. It gives the illusion that the case is much narrower and slimmer than it actually is. The inside of the twisted portion of the lug is brushed. The transition between the two finishes is very well done. It's also very smooth to the touch. I was honestly expecting it to be a little bit sharp, but I'm very pleased that it isn't. Turning the watch to its side, you can see the lugs turn down very nicely. This helps the watch sit close to the wrist and really be comfortable while wearing it on different straps. The sides have a brushed finish, and once again the brushing is consistent and done very well. The transitions from the polished bevel is precise and clean, and everything just looks premium. We have drilled lug holes for easy strap changing. I really think that all watches should have drilled lug holes. It's just so convenient. The sign crown measures 7mm. This is a great size and makes using it very easy. Once you unscrew the crown, you can tell that it's solid. There is no play at all with the crown. Using the crown is also very satisfying. Winding the movement is smooth, and I've had no issues. The bevel is unidirectional and has 120 clicks. Since it's a little bit wider than the case, it's very easy to grip and turn. So let's have a listen to the action. Overall, the action on the bezel is great. The clicks sound clean and precise. There is no backplay at all on the bezel and everything lines up perfectly. The insert is fully graduated. This is a ceramic bezel insert and the markings are all filled with lume. The crystal on the dial is a box sapphire crystal with blue AR coating. This is probably the most reflective blue AR coating I've ever seen on a watch. There is so much blue that it's sometimes too distracting. As you can see here, if we turn the watch at a certain angle, when the light hits the crystal, you basically see this cloud of blue AR. And again, it's distracting and it doesn't help with readability. Now, while we're moving the watch around, you can see there's a good amount of distortion around the edges of the crystal. There is enough distortion that it is kind of hard to read the date at certain angles. I have the date at the 3 o'clock, and there's also a version with the 6 o'clock date. Obviously, I haven't seen the 6 o'clock version in person, but I've seen photos and both have the same issue. Good thing Watchdives offers many dial variants. There is a date or a no date version. You can have it with a logo or no logo at all or any text. So there's something to please everyone. The dial markings are all printed. I have the date at 3, so you'll have the 12, 6, and 9 printed on the dial. If you go for the date at 6, you'll get 12, 3, and 9 printed. And if you choose to have no date at all, then you'll have 12, 3, 6, and 9 printed on the dial. At the 12 o'clock, you'll find the Watchdives logo, and if you look at the 6 o'clock, there's a text automatic and 300 meters. I think the font used for the text is very good, but the Watchdives logo is a bit too big. There isn't plenty of empty space on this dial, so the proportions of the logo doesn't really work well with the rest of the dial. So if that is something that bothers you, then you should probably go for the sterile dial. The hands are the perfect size and length. These are sword hands and they basically match the original design. The second hand is white and has this oversized arrow tip. It's very easy to locate and quickly tell the time. It's also very easy to read the time in the dark. So let's check out the lume. You can see the lume shines very bright on the bezel, but I did notice that the lume on the dial is a little bit weaker and will fade faster than the bezel. It could use a few more layers of lume in my opinion. Now moving along to the bracelet. So this is a 3-link bracelet. It starts at 20 millimeters and tapers down to 16 millimeters. The end links are solid and fit the case very well. There's barely any play. And since these are female end links, the bracelet doesn't add any length to the lug-to-lug distance of the watch. The top of the bracelet is completely brushed. The finishing is just as good as the case. The sides are polished and the links are held with screws. Just like the case edges, the bottom edge of the bracelet is very smooth. It has been a very comfortable wearing experience so far. This clasp is new for Watchdives. They finally added the on-the-fly micro adjustments. The mechanism used here is similar to the one on the CHESTNUT S434 that I reviewed previously. I'll leave a link to the review up here. Basically, you push that little lever inside the clasp and pull on the bracelet. And if you want to make it shorter, then you just have to push the bracelet back in and that's it. There are 4 adjustment positions, and for my 7-inch wrist, I was able to get a good fit, but it would be nice to have a few more positions just to make sure that it at least covers the length of one link. After sizing the bracelet for my wrist, I had noticed that there was 4 links left, so those with bigger wrists don't have to worry about sourcing more links. The clasp is fully milled and it has dual push button release. I don't know if it's because of the on-the-fly mechanism, but the clasp is a bit thick. I don't really mind that, but it does create a good amount of gap where the bracelet meets the clasp. Just thought I'd share that with you. Otherwise, the clasp works great and the finish is once again just as good as the rest of the watch. Now in conclusion, I think that this watch is great value. The build quality is very good, the finishing is done just as good as some St. Martin watches I've seen before. Even better, there are no sharp edges on this watch. The clasp has on-the-fly micro adjustments. The twisted lug design is very well done, is very similar to the original. There are a few improvements here and there that I would like Watchdives to work on, but overall I totally recommend this watch. So that pretty much wraps up the review of the WD1967 Sharkmaster 300. Let me know in the comments what you think of this watch. Share some suggestions and improvements that you'd like to see in the future version 2. Maybe Watchdives will read the comments and take some notes. So as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with a friend or two. And if you want to see more watch content, please subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And as always, thank you for watching and I'll talk to you on the next one.